我已经备好了。
So now we will move to a new topic, soft switching technique. If you have a switch, you turn on the switch and then turn off the switch. So what is the efficiency of the circuit? If I have input and the output, so if I get 100 watt input, then what is the output? Can I get 110 watt output? Is it possible? Impossible. Can I get 100 watt output? Input 100, output 100. Is it possible? So you have a power electronics, a switch, right? The switch can turn on and turn off. So how many lobes do you have? How many lobes? How many kind of lobes do you have for a switch? Including two parts. One is conduction loss, right? So you have conduction loss. So what is conduction loss? If a switch turns on, is it possible to get totally short circuit for the switch? Is it possible? Then you have no loss. So if a switch turns on, I trigger this switch turn on. What is the voltage across the collector and the emitter? Maybe 1 volt. If you have 1 volt here, if you have 1 ampere here, then what is your loss? 1 volt minus 1 ampere is 1 watt. Can you remove the conduction loss? Can you reduce the conduction loss? So do you have any method to reduce the conduction loss? So anyone has any idea? If you have a switch and you say, I want to increase the efficiency, so I have to reduce the conduction loss, then what can you do? So,基本上 what can you do? You have a switch. You want to reduce the conduction loss. What can you do?
Use MOSFET.
But MOSFET has RPS. They also create conduction loss. How can you reduce the conduction loss of a MOSFET? Because I need efficiency, right? So I want to reduce the power loss. So what can I do? What can you change? You trigger it and it creates 1 volt. Then it creates 1 watt. But I say I only can endure 0.1. What can I do? Otherwise, my efficiency is not good enough, right? So, what can you do? can you change the circuit, modify the circuit to reduce your conduction loss? Yes or no? If you think yes, please raise your hand. If you think no, please raise your hand. Yes or no? I want to reduce my conduction loss. What can I do? So anybody has any idea? So it depends on what? Semiconductor, right? Can you change the semiconductor? Do you have ability to change the semiconductor? No, you just buy it, right? What can you do? You say, I can do nothing. So what can you do? Only power device guy, they develop the process. So they say, this is not good, then I can give you SiC, silicon carbide. The silicon carbide can reduce the RDS. Then I can get lower conduction loss, but the price become 10 times. So do you like to buy it? You say it is too expensive. So if you want to reduce conduction loss, only device guy, you have to change the device. But we are user. How can you change the device? You have no ability to change the device. What is another loss? If you turn on, then what happens? So your voltage is here. If you turn on, then your voltage decrease to 0.1 volt. So if you turn on, the voltage drop. If you turn on, then the current increase. If this is this one, then you reach to 1 ampere. Then your voltage drop, but your current increase. Then what? You overlay, right? Overlay. So you create what? Switching loss. So if you turn on, you create turn on switching loss. If you turn off, then off, and then off, you also create switching loss. So turn on one time, get one switching loss. Turn off one time, get another switching loss. So the switching loss is proportional to frequency. So it is proportional to switching frequency. What is your switching frequency? 10 kilohertz. So you have to multiply by 10,000 times. So it becomes huge, right? So my second question is, can you reduce switching loss? Can you reduce switching loss? Yes or no? Yes. Can you reduce switching loss? You cannot reduce conduction loss, right? Can you reduce switching loss? Yes. How can you do that? So you say, I can change the circuit. If I turn on, then what happens? This is my voltage. But if my current start to here, then this here current is 0 ampere. Then what is the switching loss? 0, right? Because I have voltage, but my current start to increase here. I wait a few microseconds. So I keep my current is 0. Then what is your switching loss? 0. If I turn off, then here, and if I turn off, then your voltage start here, increase here. Then when my voltage increase, what is the current? 0. So we can say this is 0 current on, 0 current off. Right? Then you can reduce your switching loss. So if you want to reduce switching loss, what can you do? You have two methods. One is 0 current switching. How about another one? Can you say if my current is here, if I turn on, my current is here, but my voltage is 0. Is it possible? Also possible. So we have 0 voltage switching. So two methods, 0 current switching and 0 voltage switching. So can you change your topology to create 0 voltage and 0 current? Yes. You can redesign your circuit. Then you can do this. So we call this is soft switching. So what is your purpose? I want to reduce loss. I want to increase efficiency, right? If my loss can be decreased, then the switching frequency can be extended a little bit. So original only 10 kilohertz, and I have 1 watt loss. But if I can reduce the switching loss to half, then I can extend to 20 kilohertz, but the same loss, right? So if you push your frequency become higher and higher, what is your advantage? Your inductor becomes small and smaller, and your performance becomes better and better. So we need to do the soft switching. So what is your purpose? The purpose is to improve the efficiency. So now we want to explain the first method, 0 current switching. So if you need 0 current switching, when I turn on, my current is 0. So when I turn on, so turn on. If I turn on, so I hope my current is 0. So I turn on. If I turn on, I hope my current is 0. So you have voltage. Turn on, voltage becomes 0. But at that moment, my current starts to increase here. So this is current. This is voltage. When I turn on, my current is 0. Then what should I do? I have to put something, right? Otherwise, my current is not 0. So what can I do? I can put inductor here. Because inductor make delay, then the current delay a few seconds, a few microseconds, then the current increase. But then at that moment, the voltage, the current is 0. So when you turn on or when you turn off, the current is 0. Then you have voltage, but you have no loss. So you can put inductor here. If you put larger inductor, then the delay becomes larger. So when you turn on, the current is almost 0. So you can get 0 current on. And if you turn off, then at that moment, the current is 0. Then you can get 0 current off. So if I can get 0 current on, 0 current off, then I can reduce the switching loss. So this is the idea. So I need an inductor. How about the voltage? If I turn on the voltage, then what happens? If I turn on the voltage, then I trigger the voltage. So my voltage original 50 volt. I turn on the voltage. Then what happened? My voltage decrease. Then what happened? And your current increase. Then you can get switching loss. So if I turn on, I can make sure my voltage already reached 0 here, 0. Then when I turn on, I have no voltage, right? So I have no voltage, but I have current. So what is your loss? 0. How can you do this? So if you have this circuit, how can you do that? How can you get ZVS on? If you do this circuit, how can you get the ZVS on? Anybody has any idea? We have diode, we have capacitor, we have switch. How can I get ZVS on? Anybody has any idea? I have to turn on diode first. If I turn on diode first, what is the voltage? 0.7. 0.7 is near 0. So then I turn on this one. So I got ZVS on, right? So what is the requirement? You have to turn on diode first. So you have to turn on diode first. And then trigger the switch later. So you have to make sure diode turn on first and the power device trigger later, right? So I have to design a circuit to make sure diode already turned on. If I detect diode turn on, then I can trigger the switch. Then I can get ZVS on. How can I get ZVS off? So now I turn off the switch. If I turn off the switch, then what happens? The voltage increase. The voltage increase. So I have current decrease. So then we can get switching loss. So if I turn off the switch, if I can make sure the voltage is already reached 0, then I turn off the switch, no loss. How can I make sure the voltage is 0? So you use a capacitor. When you turn off the switch, then you charge here. Then you can see your capacitor voltage increase, but very slow. But you turn off quickly. So when you turn off, what is your voltage? 0. Because you charge the capacitor. If the capacitor choose larger, then which means it almost 0. So we can put a capacitor in parallel to the transistor. So when you turn off, then the voltage is near 0. Then you can get 0 voltage switching. Okay. When you turn on, the diode already turned on. Then you can get 0 voltage turn on. So this is the fundamental idea. So people get this idea and then they try to design. So why do you need soft switching? Why? Because if you do soft switching, you can reduce your switching loss. If you can reduce your switching loss, means you have more margin to increase your switching frequency, to create the same loss. Then you can increase your frequency. If you can increase your frequency, your inductor becomes smaller. and your ripple become smaller. Your performance become better. So we can reduce loss, we can increase frequency, we can increase efficiency, and we can reduce the inductor. So this is the reason. So we need to do soft switching. So what is soft switching? If you go to lab and then you found that you have a power supply, this is your power supply, 3 ampere, 30 volt, and it is put in the table, and there is a fan here, because overheat, right? If you do experiment in your we call undergraduate lab, then you would have to use power supply, right? The power supply is 30 volt, 3 ampere, but how large? Very large. And then there is a fan to cool it. So you say this is not good. So I need a small power supply, 30 volt, 3 ampere. How large? It is that it can put in my pocket. So it is just like this. So do you like this? Yes. Small size, high efficiency. So now DC-DC converter is very successful for soft switching. So we can put this into a small size. So if you have a computer, if you have a cell phone, then I need a small charger. Then I can use the soft switching to design a charger. So we need reduce size. So this is the fundamental idea. So this is 400 ampere. If you turn on, then your current increase. If you turn on, then your voltage decrease. However, when your current increase, your voltage decrease, you have area from here to here. Then you create switching loss, right? So we need to reduce the switching loss. So what can we do? So we can see this one. So we turn on our voltage, decrease, our current increase, but we have overlap. So because this is diode, so when you reach 0, the diode cannot turn off. The reason is the diode still have a lot of current. So you have to go to here, then the diode turn off. So we call this is diode recovery time. If diode go to here, then turn off, then your current, inductor current, is larger than IL, then turn off. Then you create a lot of energy. So we call this is switching loss. So how can we reduce the switching loss? So there is 2 ways. One is zero voltage switching. What is zero voltage switching? Do you remember? If you want to turn on, then what rule should you follow? If you want to get zero voltage turn on, what is the rule? Diode should be turned on first. Okay. So the diode should be turned on before the transistor turn on. So this is the rule. If you want to turn off, what is the rule? You have to use capacitor. Parallel. Then the capacitor charge, but it takes a lot of time to charge. Then when you turn off at this moment, the voltage is almost 0. So you can get 0 voltage turn on, 0 voltage turn off. So this is the idea. So now I want to go to the practical. How can you create 0 voltage? How can you create 0 current? You say, I have to put inductor, right? How can you put inductor in a real circuit? So what is this circuit? So now I try to explain the principle. So this is very simple. It is a buck converter. Buck converter. So this is a buck converter. So is this a buck converter? Yes, this is traditional buck converter. But now I need zero current buck converter. If you need zero current buck converter, what should you do? If you want to turn on, what should you do? If you remember, I need a ZCS on. Then what should I do? Inductor, right? So now you need an inductor. When you turn on, you need an inductor. So you put inductor here. So I need an inductor, right? To get ZCS on. ZCS on. So I need an inductor here. So you see, we add inductor here. But once this turn on, then there is no loop to go. So you have to create capacitor here to make it resonant. So you add inductor and the capacitor. Then you have diode here. This is diode. Then this is inductor. This is capacitor. This is resistance here. So how many devices do I add? How many devices? Compared to traditional, how many devices do I increase? One is small L, right? Another is what? Small c. So do I increase the cost? Yes. But without LC, how can you get zero current? No way. So you have to add LC. Then we have to make sure the L should start from zero. So then we can get zero current on. So first, we add L. We add C. So we pay cost. We increase our device, L and the C. Then for the switch, before I can turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off anytime. But now, if this have inductor current, can I turn on it? If I turn on it, the switch at 1 ampere, then can I get zero current on? So I have to make sure the inductor current should be zero. Then I can turn on, right? So in this case, can you turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off randomly? No. So you cannot randomly on and off. So this is the disadvantage. You have to check. My current is zero, then I can turn on. Not anytime you can turn on. So if you develop this circuit, then you say, I want to graduate tomorrow. Then your professor say, oh, this is a good idea. You add inductor. So when the current is zero, you turn on. Then you can reduce your loss. So this is good. But you should explain your circuit, right? So what is your principle, right? So after you develop this circuit, what is the next step? Analyze. Otherwise, no people believe you are correct. So what is the next step? Analyze. So now we want to analyze this circuit. So because it is so complicated, so we need to use blackboard to explain it. Otherwise, you will be totally get confused. So then I will use the blackboard and step by step to explain the circuit principle. So it takes maybe 1 hour to finish because it is very complicated. So if you cannot find any topic for your dissertation or thesis, then you can go to IEEE Explore and you can key in soft switching, or you can key in zero voltage switching, or you can key in zero current switching. Then how many paper appears? 3,000. So you feel very happy. A lot of opportunities, right? Because everybody can develop his own topology to get zero current on, zero current off, zero voltage on, zero voltage off. So it is a good research topic because it is open. Everybody can do it. So now we just want to explain the basic idea. So we have switch S1. We put inductor, small inductor, we call L. We put small capacitor, we call C. And we have diode here. And then we have filter inductor. We have filter capacitor. We have output. So we know this is buck converter, right? So the difference is small L and small C. So we add these two things. So now we need to explain the circuit. If you develop power electronic circuit, you want to explain how can you use. You have to separate it into different buck, operating mode, right? Because it is too complicated. I cannot say in one word, so I have to use the operating mode. So now I use operating mode. So mode 1. This is the first mode. What is first mode? The S1 on. D and the diode conductor. So S1 on and this diode conductor and the switch on. So this is the situation. S1 on, but the diode still turn on. So we say the time is initial from T1. So switch S1 is turned on. And the diode D conducts still turned on. So this is the situation. Okay. Then what is your equivalent circuit? So you have Vs here, Vs here. Then you have switch on. S1 on. Then you have inductor. And you have capacitor. But now diode turn on. If capacitor pair with diode and the diode turn on, then this loop is turned on. So what is the capacitor? If you have a capacitor and you use another line to connect here, then what happens? The capacitor is what? Short circuit, right? So then the capacitor become useless. This become useless because short circuit, right? Short circuit. And how about this one? This is inductor. This is capacitor. We say this is inductor to provide constant output current. To provide output current become constant. Do you think the inductor is huge or small? Huge. Do you think this one is huge or small? Small. So compared to this one, this is very huge. So we can obtain constant current. Constant current. Then constant current go to the load. So the circuit, equivalent circuit is like this. So we have diode here. We have diode here. But the diode already turned on. So this is the equivalent circuit. So now can you develop your equation? So what is Vs? Anybody has any idea? The diode is turned on. So what is the voltage? 0. Because diode almost 0, right? 0 voltage drop. If this is 0, this is Vs, then this is VL. So what is VL? Vs minus 0. So what is VL? Equal to Vs. So VL equal to Vs. Then what is VL? L DIL dt. So this is IL, right? So L DIL dt. Then we can say DIL dt is equal to Vs divided by L. Then how about IL? So we can say IL is this equation, right? But how about the initial current? Because before you turn on, the inductor current should be 0, right? So the initial value is 0. So this is Vs Lt. So we develop the first equation. Okay. So the inductor current is increased. So you can see Vs L is constant. So it is K multiplied by T. So if the time increase, the inductor current also increase. So we can see the relationship. So what is the N? So at T1, the mode N. So when T equal to T1, what is the inductor current? It is VSL T1. So it is equal to I0. Okay, so how much time do you need? So we can solve T1 is equal to I0 L divided by Vs. So this is the time you require. Okay, so you can see from here, you can say VSL T1 is I0. So Vs T1 is I0L. So T1 is I0L Vs, right? So you can compute the time interval T1. Okay. So how can we draw the waveform? If you want to draw the waveform, how can you draw the waveform? Okay, so I want to draw the waveform because it is too complicated. So I need to draw waveform. Okay. So this is IL. This is VC. Okay. So first, we turn on here. S on here. If S on here, then what happens? We have a current. The current is proportional to time. So this current. And this is I0. So the current is proportional to time. Then we have here. So now our switch turn on. Our switch turn on. How about the VC? Diode turn on, right? If diode turn on, what is VC? 0. So VC is 0. So VC is 0 because diode turn on. Okay. So what is the T1? T1 is I0L divided by Vs. Right? So we call what is this? Mod 1. Right? What is mod 1? Mod 1 is S on, D on. So S on, D on. This is mod 1. So we draw everything. So this is the first step we call mod 1. Mod 1 is switch on, diode on. So we call this is mod 1. Then we go to the next step. Now we want to go to the next step. Remove everything. So now we go to next step. We call mod 2. So mod 2 from T1 to T2. And at that moment, the switch S1 remains on. So S1 still on. But the diode D1 off. So now switch is on. So we still turn on the switch. So this switch turn on. But then what happened? The current become I0. Here you can see I0. So the inductor current is I0. And then the current is larger than IR. So this is I0. I0 increase larger than IR. If I0 larger than IR, then what happens? IL is equal to IC plus IR plus IT. So we have 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop. So we have IR here. So you can see the IR is output current. But this one increase. If this one increase then IR, this one is larger than IR. If IR is 1 ampere, this is 1.1 ampere. Then we have current go here. Then what happened to the diode? Because this current increase, original only 1 ampere, but now it is 1.1 ampere. But here we only take 1 ampere. So we have 0.1 ampere go to diode. Then what happened to the diode? Diode will turn off. So after that, the diode turn off. So S1 off, D off, diode turn off. If the diode turn off, then what happen? So the diode turn off. This is off. Then what is the equivalent circuit? So we can draw the equivalent circuit. We have Vs. We have switch on. We have inductor. We have inductor current. But now we have capacitor. But the diode turn off. And then what happened? We have output current. So it is like this. Right? The diode turn off. Then what happened? So we can remove the diode. Diode is useless because it turn off. So what is the relationship? You can say Vs equal to VL plus Vc, right? Vs equal to VL plus Vc, right? This one plus this one. What is VL? VL is L DIL dt. What is Vc? 1 divided by C. Then this current go here. So we have I dt. So we have I here. We have I here. I dt. Okay. So we can say remove this L di dt plus 1 divided by C I dt. So it is like this. So we have this circuit. This is voltage equal to this voltage plus this voltage. So we take Laplace. So the VSS equal to LS IS plus CS IS. We take the Laplace. Then we can compute IS. So IS equal to VSS. This is LS plus CS. Okay, so it is VSC LCS squared plus 1. Okay. Then this is VSL S squared plus LC. Then this is VSCL LC S squared plus LC. So we can develop IS. This IS is ILS. So we use Laplace transform to develop ILS. So if you get this, can you get inverse Laplace? So anybody can show me what is the result? This is VS. This is CL. How about this one? This one. Anybody has any idea? If you have omega square, S square, omega square, what is the inverse Laplace?
Sine.
Anybody still remember?
Sine.
Sine omega t, right? So the inverse is sine omega t. So you get this one. So we can say this is I maximum sine omega t. Okay. So we get the inductor current. It is sine omega t. How about the capacitor voltage? So we can do this computation. And finally, we can get this Vs 1 minus cosine omega ct. So we can calculate inductor current and the capacitor voltage. So what is the inductor current? Psi. So we can draw the waveform. What is the waveform? So you can see this is the second step. So in the second step, we have sine wave. Sine wave like this. So we have I maxima. So what is I maxima? I maxima is here. So this is I maxima. So the amplitude is I maxima. I maxima. So what is I maxima? I maxima is Vs square root CL. So this is I maxima. And the omega 0 is square root LC. So it is I maxima sine omega t. So this is I maxima sine omega 0 t. So it is sine wave. Sine wave. How about the current, the voltage? Voltage is here. So at that moment, what is Vc? Here is 0. But now, this is sine. How about this? This is 1 minus cosine. So at time t, this is omega 0 t. If t is 0, cosine 0 is 1. So at the beginning, it is 0. How about 90 degree? This is 1 minus cosine 90 degree. So cosine 90 degree is what? 0, right? Cosine 90 degree is 0. 1 minus 0 is what? 1. 1 multiplied by Vs. So at 90 degree, this is Vs. How about 180 degree? 180 degree. Cosine 180 degree become minus 1. 1 minus minus 1 become what? 2. So this is 2 Vs. So it is 2 Vs here at 180 degree. So how can I draw this? It's like this. So we can draw this one. Not very good. It's like this. Okay. So, do we think this is good? Any question? So I think we can start here. So we call from here to here. It is mod 2. What is mod 2? Mod 2 means S on, D off. S on, D off. This is S on, D on. S on, D on is mod 1. S on, D off is mod 2. So how many mod do you have? 2 mod. But we have third mod and the fourth mod. So we will have 10 minutes break and we will go back.